mix.
Bachelor Nation, will you accept this rose? We love you. Love is in the air. It's magic. 'Cause love is on the air. On TV. So love is on the air. Podcast. It's a podcast. Podcast. Love is in the air. It's magic. 'Cause love is on the air. On TV. So love is on the air. It's a podcast. Featuring Andy, Sarah, and Glenn. Bachelor Pod, it's the Bachelor Pod, it's a podcast about the Bachelor.
Will you accept this podcast?
Welcome to beautiful Lake Tahoe, Nevada, where we're coming at you live for another edition of the Bachelor Pod, starring Glenn, Andy, and Sarah as hosts. With you, as always, here live. Just kidding. We're in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. But the last episode of The Bachelor was live, not live, from Lake Tahoe.
Oh my God, I was about to lose my fucking shit over Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
Lake
it's the
Tahoe.
most beautiful place in the world.
Oh my God, what an exotic locale.
Like
Stunning.
fucking Tahoe!
Yeah.
All of my friends have been there, and I've always wondered what it's like. And then I finally got to see it.
Finally
And it's
saw it.
beautiful. It's
It's
beautiful.
amazing.
It has hot tubs.
It's so
It's got more than
amazing.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Here's what Lake Tahoe's got. It's got lakes. It's got trees.
It's got Tahoe.
It's got snows. Yeah. You better believe it's brimming with Tahoe.
It's brimming with Tahoe. There's Tahoe everywhere you turn.
oh, and it's owned by Mr. Tahoe.
You're giving Tahoe away out there.
Mr. Tahoe's lake.
Yeah, Lake Tahoe. I've always wondered what it was, and actually, it is pretty beautiful.
They
at
also
Lake
got
Tahoe.
Leia Tahoes. Leia's in my arms right now. Usually Glenn can see us. He can't see us right now, but
can't see shit.
But the cat is here.
Liv, who, if you've never listened to the podcast, was a former host and my current wife. She, she remarked, she's a geography expert. And I don't know if it was this episode or recently she found out that Lake Tahoe isn't in California, but is indeed a Nevadian territory.
Whoa, they went all the way to Nevada. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Lucky girls.
They really teased out. He's like, you're going to leave the mansion. They got all excited with visions of Paris dancing in their heads. Yeah. And it's like Lake Tahoe. That's where I went on spring break and drank a quart of vodka and threw up on my crush's slippers. You know what I mean?
I honestly think that's why some of the ladies who left were as upset as they were. Because they're like, I only got to Tahoe.
Yeah, you only got to Nevada, and not even the good part of Nevada. You didn't go to Vegas. I mean, don't get me wrong. Lake Tahoe is pretty beautiful.
It looks pretty nice.
It's up in the Sierra Mountains there. Yeah, it's quite
But you
nice.
feel like you want to go on real adventures. You want to go to a hot location.
Yeah, you do.
Definitely. Snow vacations, no thank you. It's funny you mentioned the ladies leaving and crying, because when I was watching this one especially, I just got the feeling it's like when they leave, especially this early on, they're not crying for Ari. They're crying because they deem themselves other girls beat them. You know what I mean?
Glenn, we are best friends. That is exactly what I thought. I was thinking the same thing when what's her name, Caroline or whatever her name was. I was like, there is no way she cares as much about Ari. She's way hotter than him.
She was having a good time with her buds.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't feel as pretty as the other ones because she got rejected.
Yeah, and you don't feel like, oh, well, there's no way I can be the Bachelorette now. There's no way this will be harder for me to get on any of the other shows because I did leave so early.
Yeah, you're bummed out because of your standing in Bachelor Nation.
Yeah, your brand suffers.
Yeah, it certainly does. Unless you're someone like Bibiana, who made a huge impact in the small amount of time she was there, and will most certainly be asked back to something.
This is something they never talk about, but do they not receive some sort of stipend or stipend? Remember when Survivor first started, and it was people always talked about how the winner gets $1 million, but the other people you get the second place gets $500,000, and then it kind of goes down in a sliding scale. I assume every reality competition show is like that. It's just they never talk about it.
No, the women don't get paid at all.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, wait, they don't get paid at all. They must get paid.
They must get paid.
That's the thing. They go on there for free.
Get a per diem.
What?
Yeah. They get boots when they got to go up a mountain. They probably get a sweater or two if they didn't bring it. But maybe they get Whoever leaves first gets a face mask. The next people get some nice moisturizer. The next people, you get a bag of makeup.
They're just getting stuff out of the FabFitFun box.
Yeah, FabFitFun box is definitely like waiting as they walk out the door to give them their stuff and to become a partner of FabFitFun.
What a rip.
That's what I read, that they don't.
That's a crazy rip.
That he probably makes about $300,000 as the Bachelor. Yeah.
Ugh.
And or some make more and some make less. Like somebody made $1 million. I forget who. I mean,
it's decent for.
I think Emily made the most because they really had to like offer up gold to get her to come because everyone loved her and they wanted her.
Right. Yeah.
But I doubt Ari. Ari's been fighting to be the Bachelor. I doubt he got that much.
Yeah, he got a bag of hickory sticks and.
Yeah, he got a bag of hickory sticks, and maybe he's part of Nick's subscription box. I'll tell you this, Gent or whatever it's called.
If you've been listening all season, you'll know after the first couple episodes, I wouldn't say I was into Ari, but I liked how things were going. Mm-hmm. But now, man, this guy, A, is an idiot. Like, I don't think he has an ounce of intelligence in him.
No,
and
he's a
B, he's boring, and C, as we mentioned before, he is a true horn dog because he does not get invested in any date until he senses a makeout coming.
Yeah.
Like, he's so dull with everybody. Is he offering up anything? No.
No, and he calls everyone girls all the time.
I hate that.
You girls look great. Hope you're having fun, girls. It's like, you love girls, don't you, little piece of shit?
We watched this episode with my mom.
Ooh, interesting.
Out in Mississauga.
And his sister and her boyfriend making loud meals in the kitchen.
Yeah. Which is connected to the living room with like basically no wall. It's like this weird thing.
Split level.
Yeah, split level. But even my mom picked up on the fact that he was only interested in them if they would make out with him. Basically.
And we were both, like, when she said it, we were like, whoa. Like,
we're like, yeah, that's true.
She also got into the show immediately. Yeah. Obviously, everybody does. By
the end, she was like, oh, please don't pick the one with the whisper voice. She's talking about Crystal. Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's what she said to him about Crystal. Yeah. She was like, and she's, they're from Newfoundland, so she has a bit of a Newfoundland accent. And she was just, I can't imitate it, but it just sounded funny. She's like, she talks weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, she does. Thank you. It was like such confirmation on everything we were feeling from Shirley.
Good. That's good. Because sometimes we put ourselves in our own little bubble here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bachelor pod bubble. And we hope that you all agree with us and you haven't turned away because you're like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Because we have harsh views sometimes. So it's nice when a sweet woman is like, yeah, you guys are right. This guy fucking sucks.
Yeah. We're raw. I'll take any opportunity to remind you guys, we're raw. We're unfiltered. We are independent, proudly.
We're allowed to do, and because we're the #1 and basically only Bachelor pod, we're kind of can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want, and that's what garners us millions of listeners week in, week out.
I mean, FabFitFun has been chasing after us to be partners, but we're saying
no. Our door, and we're saying like, forget it.
But if they did offer, I would say yes.
But wait. Are they?
Anyway, let's keep going.
So, we usually on the show, we talk about all the dates and all the drama that ensues. So why not, let's not change the format and continue doing that.
Good decision.
The first date, one-on-one with our girl, CN, a lovely young woman who I think is way too good for Ari and who I think most Bachelor Nation would agree. And they started things off with parasailing that was observed by the rest of the girls because the producers hand them a bag of binoculars, let's say. I picture them handing them the binoculars in a bag and said, hey, watch, there's a parasailing thing happening. Check it out.
I almost feel like they weren't even at their hotel when they were looking. They're like, we're going to bring you to a place. Just look around, but look to your right for sure. And see what you see.
Hey, someone dropped off this garbage bag of binoculars at the room. Like, what should we do with them?
With a note on it that says, use me.
Use me. Look to left.
Yeah.
Look to left. What does that mean?
Specific longitude and latitude.
Yeah.
And they didn't get that. And then there's another note underneath. It's like, sigh, look to left.
Out window, look to left. Yeah, I don't even remember that there was parasailing. I actually forgot.
Because people were talking when we were trying to watch it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was barely part of the date. I don't even know.
Yeah.
They barely spent any time in the air before they had the inevitable post-date dinner. This was kind of funny when they went into the Hard Rock hotel, casino, and restaurant, I guess. And CN's like, this is a beautiful restaurant. You mean the ones with like T-Rex's guitar drilled onto the wall?
Yeah.
Or which drum set are you seated next to? You know?
Oh, look, Alex Van Halen.
I'll be your waiter today.
Oh, he's the waiter. Wow.
So Raven was doing E News's Instagram story.
It's a big get.
And she really doesn't like Ari. So Ari must treat her friend like garbage. And now it looks like her friend Tia might be going a bit farther than we all assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from the previews, it's like, oh, I think she was pretty far. And something bad must happen because she was just like, all of her stuff was just like Ari shit. And then she had one of those polls you can do on Instagram story. I think this was on her own Instagram. It might have been on the E! News one, but she was like, is CN better than Ari? And she was...
A resounding yes.
Yeah, and like she went around the room, which had a couple Bachelor people in the room with her that was watching. They were all like, oh yeah, for sure. Nobody likes this guy.
The guy's brain is full of gas, man. He's a gas head.
Somebody told me... who Ari actually is. So I keep saying that he's Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, which we've sort of disagreed with.
Andy agrees.
Although,
now.
you know what? Now I see what she's talking about.
I guess I see it.
He's got like a pointy nose and like
it's more in his face.
It's in his face.
In his beady eyes.
And like his little hands and like his shriveled body.
And his liver spots.
Yeah. He does though. He has a bunch of skin damage on his face. That's why he was wearing so much makeup the first
interesting.
night. Yeah. And it makes sense. He's like California boy. He's got all that. Anyway, right? He's California boy?
No, he's an Arizona boy.
Arizona. So
well, Arizona,
Scottsdale,
lots of
beautiful town.
Yeah.
Lots of sun there too. Yeah.
Oh, and somebody said he's Stephen Harper.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah,
He is. He's got those weird blue eyes. They're a little closer together than usual.
Yeah.
And the Caitlin Malquin is a comedian, she's like in our business kind of thing. She's in the industry, and I was like, you're right, kind of a bit of a mix between Mr. Birds and Stephen Harper, which possibly is the worst mix possible.
That's terrible. That's two all-time villains right there.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, I don't like talking about how people look, but I don't mind because he seems like a true creep.
Yeah, if you gave him, if he was hosting Saturday Night Live, and for some reason he was hosting Saturday Night Live, and for some reason there was something to do with Canada, and their makeup people gave him a Stephen Harper, it would be like pretty good.
It would be, it'd be spot on.
If you gave him a couple more pounds in the face and just slicked down his hair, Stephen Harper.
Stephen Harper, he's definitely Stephen Harper with cooler hair.
Yeah, and you should post a picture with this of Stephen Harper.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that came out of this date with Cien, there was nothing from Ari. He just kept saying things like it was amazing and magical and blah, 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 blah. But Cien did reveal a few things, such as her parents' rocky marriage, that she'd never really observed love before. And the key thing was that she said she'd never experienced love stories that have girls that look like her, which was a poignant thing to say, which was totally ruined when they brought them to the private band thing featuring like the whitest band of all time, Blanco. Yeah. Like, can you, I mean, I know like.
The whole thing for me is weird to have this like very privileged white guy to be like, I want to like show you a fairy tale. Like he said something like that with you in it, or with like for you.
He said something on the lines of like, well, let's make this like the story with a person like you.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't need Ari doing this. Like, I just didn't like it. It felt very. It's a
nice thing to say in the moment, though. Like if someone tells that to you,
it feels icky because it's him. I guess everything he does feels icky to me.
Yeah,
I think is the problem.
I agree with that.
And that's I think the show as that's an overall show thing.
Yes.
But like for him in that moment, I mean, I think he was probably just trying to say something nice and like, you know.
Yeah, the dates were like, again, there were moments where I was like, oh, this is like oddly intimate and real. Like the Becca stuff and the stuff with Cien, I was like, this is kind of nice. I wish I liked him more.
Well, yeah, because I think the women were giving a lot. I mean, the Becca thing, he gave a little more because that was like the one real moment. The rest of the show, you could have put a guy who just kind of looked like him, like a stand-in, and there would have been no difference. He only showed any kind of emotion with Becca, really. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this Ari character, quite frankly.
I mean, he's not the most impressive guy in the world. You know what I mean? He's kind of a loser. Anyways.
Yeah.
But I thinking back, like, what's the last Bachelor where you were like, this guy's cool?
I think Nick's cooler than him.
Nick is cooler.
We were pretty down on Nick too at the beginning.
Ben's
like,
I wasn't.
Has there been one?
Ben sucked. Chris sucked. What's his name wasn't too bad. Who picked? Blondie. Who picked? What's her name?
Sean Lowe.
Sean Lowe wasn't too bad.
I like Sean.
Yeah, I guess that's far back enough that I wasn't stoked for it because like I wasn't really watching the series then. So like.
Oh yeah.
But
Ben Slavnik was a joke.
Yeah.
Here's something I totally forgot about as I was searching for an image, starting our new chat group between the three of us to coordinate doing the podcast. I've totally forgot that Rachel picked that guy, Brian.
Like, yeah, right.
What, are they still together? I don't even know.
Yeah.
They're popping. They're like planning their wedding. They're going to stay together. She just needs to prove to the world for at least 10 years that she didn't want Peter.
For at least 10 years.
How much I didn't like that guy. That was like, it just brought back memories of such a disappointing season that I'd really stricken from my memory. So I just wanted to bring that up.
She's got to go at least like 10 years. She doesn't have to go the full 10.
5.
I'd say she has to go at least 5.
Yeah.
She got to prove to everybody
She'll go 5 years. They'll get divorced or
maybe
whatever,
have a baby
or split, and then people will always ask her about like, was he really the one you wanted?
Yeah.
And she'll always be like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Did you guys have any doubt that CN was going to get the rose? Like, because halfway through the date post-parasailing, they kind of were like, well, is this going to be another, what's her name, Lauren S. situation?
Yeah, there was some moments that the editing took where it was like, oh, is he even that interested in her and all this? But it felt more produced than the moments with like Lauren, what was it, B or whatever her name was.
I think it was S.
S, you're right, Lauren S. Yeah, those ones felt like, oh man, this is brutal. Whereas the stuff with CN seemed really interesting. Like she was an interesting person, and she was like, she wasn't just like, verbal diarrheaing all over him. Like she was just. That's
true.
She was actually
Lauren S.
in
really
a conversation
that date,
and they tried to edit. They tried to edit it to make it look like that, so you'd question it.
And I think now all the women every time are like, he's gonna send her home. Like they're trying to convince themselves every time.
Yeah, just because he did one kind of early,
Yeah, also though maybe these are all edits from other dates. They're just trying to create drama.
Could be. Well, needless to say, CN got a rose, so she's in there, no problem. Then it was time for group date number 1, the only group date of the episode, featuring Chelsea, Crystal, Becca, Marique, Ashley, Jacqueline, Jenna, Tia, Kendall, Lauren, Brittany, and Caroline on a really weird hiking type adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2 people that they met up with were from a TV show, we found out.
Oh, I mean, they appeared to have media training, which it took me aback because I don't know who they were. But when he introduced them, like, here's Green Beret, what's his name? Michael Hawk. That's Michael spelled Mykel.
Brutal.
He talked about being in war as if he was in like a touring band.
I know, he's in all kinds of wars.
All over the world.
Yeah.
I've been all over the world in all kinds of wars. That was like, you gotta think his fellow soldiers don't look too kindly upon that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some trauma involved in a couple of those wars for more than one person. So, but this guy comes out of it with like a wicked TV deal and like a British wife, so he's fine.
And then they start things off by making them all piss in bottles, which I
hated it.
Liv and I were like, are we seeing what, like, is that what he told them to do?
I also did not understand that at first.
It was, and so some of them went and did it. And I, again, as a woman, I thought it was such a fucked up thing to ask. Because, like, Ari's going to do it. It's like, yeah, he has a penis. It's super simple for him to do that. All the women have to go pee all over their hands. And, like, it's not easy to, like, even when you're, like, peeing in a toilet and got to do it for the doctor, it's kind of difficult. But you have the toilet to hold you up. To, like, crouch in the wild and pee in, like, a weird cylinder. Yeah, and then what's her name for sure drank her.
It's a light challenge, though. It's a pretty light challenge.
It's a weird thing to ask.
I don't think so. I think it's a fun and silly challenge.
As a woman, if somebody asked me to do that, I know I'm the only one here now. I'm sure Liv would agree with me if she was here. It was a weird thing. I would be so unimpressed if someone for some stupid date asked me to fucking pee in.
Is it really that tough?
It is, Andy. You don't know what it's like.
I'm asking you. It's
not easy to crouch. To even squat in general is hard. You stand up and let it go.
I know it. Listen, Listen,
So
it is
you
very
don't
easy for
understand
me.
at all?
I got
Like,
no problems.
Well, just
I got zero problems.
Just to decide to agree with me on this one because it's very difficult to paint
I'm
in the wild.
I'm asking. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, it's
I
difficult.
thought it was so weird because he didn't explicitly say, like, in the wild, sometimes you've got to be extreme. So if you ever get thirsty, you're going to have to drink your own piss. He was like, so, go over and do what you got to do. I thought they were all just going to start melting snow in their bottles. You know what I mean? I was thinking logically about it. And then the piss thing was just because aren't they smart? Like, you don't drink your piss.
No, they were saying I think it was a filtered thing. Like it was one of those things that filtered. That's what I thought.
No, I don't see. I don't think they were saying that. Like I at the time I did because I was like, oh yeah, that's why they're gonna do this because those bottles must be like some product that like filters your piss into water or whatever, and that's why I was like, oh, so he's gonna do it. Okay, that definitely is what this is. But then it was like, oh no, they all thought he was drinking. It's like it was just apple juice. So they tried to make him think like he was just straight up drinking piss. So they were doing this prank on them where it's like when you're in the wild, you gotta drink your piss.
That
and
seems
then,
like another
and then what's
like
her name?
breach
Drank
of...
her own piss.
Yeah. Sarah
Almost,
thinks that Jacqueline did drink it.
Jacqueline drank her piss?
Yeah, she like wiped her mouth after.
Man, Woman, Wild is the name of the show.
Oh, yeah, like you think his ex-soldiers would also be like, you never trick a civilian into drinking their own piss.
Yeah.
You don't even come close to making that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you tell someone to drink their own piss?
He's in breach of his Hippocratic oath, whatever that is for soldiers.
We told you
First
to
rule
stop
being,
doing
don't
that.
make people drink piss. Yeah.
Yeah. But would you believe me now, Andy? I really need you to understand how more difficult it is for us to pee like that than you.
I understand it's more difficult. I just think that like asking somebody to do something difficult is like kind of what the
imagine
show's all about.
Asking
isn't it?
someone to basically get piss on their hands
Yeah.
and then be
But
stuck with that. Like,
what if they
ew.
stuck the bottle in snow and then just kind of pissed on top of it?
It's super hard. You guys can literally put your penis into the thing and
Can't
pee
just hold
away.
it right up to the
No, it
to the
doesn't.
pee hole?
Sometimes it
Yeah,
might work that
close
way,
to
but
the
it
pee
doesn't
hole.
always like go right in.
because it looked like they had like a big spout. Like it wasn't like trying to pee into a beer bottle or something.
Sizable
But think
opening.
about
Yeah.
it. You guys are just standing, right?
No, I'm not trying to. I know how it would work for us, but like that's what I'm saying. Is like so you got to get down there.
This is why I'm explaining. So let me talk.
Yeah.
So you guys just get to stand and it would just fall in. We have to squat, which usually when you're squatting, you're like you have to hold your pants and like your pants on both sides. Like you can't. Your hands are used to hold like
Yeah,
prop you up
I've seen it before.
and
Yeah.
pull down your pants. So imagine also having to hold a cup to your vagina. You'd be all wobbly and it would suck. I wouldn't be surprised if someone pissed on their
no
own
doubt
clothes.
they must have got piss on themselves.
I'm not saying it's not challenging. I'm just saying that I
just think
think
it's
the
a-
challenge is like the fun part of it.
I think if you're on Fear Factor, sick challenge. I think if you're on The
Hey,
Bachelor,
speaking of, they did eat worms in this one
I
too.
hated it. I didn't
and
like it.
Did we mention on the show that Kendall was on Fear Factor?
Oh,
Did I mention that?
Did we mention that?
I don't know if we mentioned it. I think we texted.
She drank bull semen, I believe. I'm gonna
Oh,
one's
you
Kendall?
know what? Now that you mention that, I do believe you did say that. Yes.
Which one's Kendall?
Kendall's the
the one who got into eating worms.
Yeah.
She's the taxidermist.
It was very funny. I was like, they asked this couple to do this challenge with everyone or this date. Because again, they're not challenges. They're supposed to be dates. We're calling them challenge because that's what it looked like. Because it felt like we were on Fear Factor. But they were calling it a
the
date.
Group dates are always a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a
So
winner.
stupid. But they were like, it felt like they didn't plan anything, and they're like, drink your own piss, and over here's some rock. Oh, great, there's a bunch of worms. Come here, honey.
Eat this dirt.
Eat these worms.
Yeah.
Like there was no like,
Just like in the army. Yeah.
like there was like a little hut right there. They weren't even like into the woods yet, and he's already like, eat some worms. It was so weird.
And it would have been interesting if it was a tie-in for because of this old show. But they
Yeah.
didn't even mention that the show. They weren't like and from Wild Network's Man Woman Wild.
Yeah,
It's
that's
you know
true.
they didn't do
It's
anything
here's
like
an
that.
ex-Green Beret
Yeah.
and his wife, who seemed to know a thing or two about survival.
So weird.
With the knowledge that Kendall was on Fear Factor, this challenge really benefited her, from the pissing all the way up to the eating grubs. Apparently, her episode was considered the vilest episode ever of Fear Factor.
Really?
Where they drank donkey semen, which I guess she ended up doing. So they really this was an episode that really promoted old Kendall, and she took advantage of it because she
She did.
stepped up. She
Yeah.
ate every worm. She made it. She did a nice little take him to the side and make out amongst the spruce trees, which Crystal did not like. And yeah, she really dominated. And it sucked that she didn't get the rose, quite frankly.
Yeah,
he's not into her.
Yeah, I just think he's just not that into her. I think he thinks she's too weird.
I think
but
he's
really,
keeping her around.
She's the most
weird.
interesting person there, I think, now.
My favorite part of this episode is when she was like, "He's a great traveler," and he's like, "Yeah, because he's dead."
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, about the
talking about the
yeah, like I do like his sense of humor a bit. Like he seems like. But it just seems like such
it's
a loser. It's
probably not
otherwise.
hard to burn the taxidermist person.
No, just in general.
About.
There's been other jokes too.
Yeah,
like
right.
I just think he has an okay sense of humor. Like he can be pretty normal. I just think he's also got a creepy side.
Like if you go to Instagram, you can see a pic of Kendall with her stuffed duckling.
Oh,
a little
okay.
more. But it's cute until you realize it's dead. I guess I don't know. Depends. Yeah,
like
I'll
at
let
least
you make up your own mind.
At least there's like a dimension to Kendall's personality.
Yes.
You see,
Right.
you see something past what she is presenting for TV. Like you see, like, oh, she has a hobby. Like, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But like, man, that's real life. People are weird,
You know what's
And
weird?
she hasn't played the ukulele in a while, which is
Thank
nice.
God.
for
Which
those
is
of us
very
who
good. I'm
don't
glad that's not
like
happening.
her when she does that. So
You know, it's weird. I just realized because I kept looking at her. I'm like, who does she remind me of? Who does she remind me of? She looks like someone. You know who she looks like?
Gwen.
No,
I think she
Ash.
looks like Gwen.
Anyways,
Well, you asked me and I answered.
Ashley from the one who was crazy about the zombies.
Ooh, Ashley S. Right?
She looks so much like her.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like-
yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Yeah, we should put a side by side up. Like they look super similar.
Bachelor.
I think I saw Ashley S. tweeting about how she liked Kendall on
Oh
Twitter.
yeah, they look kind of similar.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Now
If
Ashley
their
has, like,
their hair's a little different.
Yeah,
style-wise,
but their face is similar. The pointiness of bit of a bird face.
interesting.
Classic birds.
Got a bit of a bird.
What did we all think of the second part of this challenge where they all split up into 3 teams and then had to navigate toward the cabin / hot spring, where one team unfairly got Ari for the whole
Yeah.
afternoon?
Yeah.
Because
thought
I'm
it was-
sure that took a couple hours.
I thought it was bullshit. I agreed with
It was total
everyone who was
bullshit.
pissed
Yeah.
off. And it also, for me, he decided which group he was going to be in.
Yeah.
So it
Did
showed.
he?
Yeah, he's like,
oh,
I'm
I
going to
missed
be
that.
with the
I
blue
thought it
group.
was random. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did say that. He's like, I'm going to be with the blue team. Yeah.
And his
I mean, that
favorites
was
were all
probably-
there.
Now, maybe
Yeah.
he said that because it was predetermined that he was going to be on the blue team.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It looked suspicious to me
He
because.
had a blue backpack. Like he would have had the matching backpack. 'cause that was
Yeah.
how-
He had a black
Sure.
backpack. So it kind of
Oh.
felt like. Yeah, he had a black backpack.
Oh, okay.
They all had the
Maybe
color.
they did let him choose.
Yeah.
I think it's all for the drama. It's all to amp things up, in which case I'm into it. I love that he was only on one of the teams and he got the pick. That's great.
Yeah, I'm into it for the drama. You're right, but it would have been so annoying to have to excuse my language, but deal with all the other people in your group that you probably wouldn't have chosen to be with, but now you have to navigate this map with so many doyoys.
And you could tell that none of them found the place. That the producers were like, okay, just go that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
they
follow the
never
people with the
had that-
camera.
Yeah, they never had that eureka moment where like, there's the camp. They just kind of showed up. Like,
Yeah, they
know
were
what I
trying to
mean?
climb. Yeah, honestly, I mean, this is I don't know how many people are going to get this reference, but like there was that one point where they're like Brittany and Jacqueline, I guess, that crew, they were all trying to climb over that rock. And it was like if you're playing Skyrim, like you know where you're supposed to go on the map, but then in front of you is this massive mountain, and you're just trying to spam the A button to jump over like the rocks in front of you, which everyone who's ever played that game knows about, and that's exactly what you do. But like it's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go around the mountain.
Yeah.
This makes it 10 times harder.
yeah, Skyrim.
Screw you.
In any case, I'm surprised. I thought the ladies actually played the whole unfair Ari being on the one team pretty cool, and that it's such bullshit that what's her name, Crystal, was the one to complain. Like,
Oh my god.
Caroline and Tia were joking around. Fair
Yeah.
ball. Like they weren't even. They could have been pouty and taken them aside and be like, "That wasn't fair. I
Yeah.
wanted to spend the afternoon with you," but they were just having a good time with it.
Well,
Yeah.
they were in the group with him.
Oh, they were.
Yeah,
that's
that
right.
was the first group that got there.
Well,
She
even
was
though-
mad that they were just making jokey faces because
Yeah.
I think he's like showing favorites very clearly.
That was bad. As Andy, as a fan of drama, likes that. But
Yeah.
in terms of fairness, like, putting your arm around one of them and like stroking her shoulder right in front of everybody else, like,
Weird.
I don't know.
Nobody does that. Nobody's done that before. It's just it's like presumptuous to think that everyone would be okay with that. It's just such an ego.
I kind of feel like more than other seasons, and maybe I'm just an old veteran of watching this show now, but it feels like he's more than ever like in the producer's pocket. Like,
yeah,
I feel like that is a heavy. I mean, it could very well be him just being completely like.
That looked like a non-producer move to me. Was the producer?
I thought it was like, yo, when you're in the hot tub, pick one of them, put your arm around her.
Yeah. We'd recommend Crystal.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, oh man, that might make the other girls uncomfortable. And I'm like, yo, it's gonna be great. Like, honestly, it's not even gonna be a problem.
Girls like when you do that.
Yeah, and he's like, okay. Like, I just think he wants to make his. He's like, do you want your season to be memorable? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're pulling that card on him.
Well, and also if he really had to campaign for this, if he's been begging to do it for years, like then he owes them a few favors. You know what I mean?
He's doing whatever they're telling him to do, I think. And I think that is possibly one of the things right there. Because that's such a brutal move. You would never do that. And and even a guy like him, I don't think he would really do that like so blatantly like that. So I think it's got to be some coercion there.
So the Crystal's villainhood, if you would, really, this is where it really was blossoming. If it hadn't blossomed before, it was in full bloom here, where she just complained about everything, did the classic, like, I was saying to Liv, you can say, like, I'm not getting along with anyone, no one seems to like me, but whatever. But to say, like, I'm above them because of that, that's when you go true villain. And when she was doing her whisper talks to Ari, saying that everyone's stabbing her in the back, and I mean, she's talking out of her ass, straight up.
And I was pissed off at him because I'm like, by now, he's also been a part of this world for a while. He dated Courtney. He should see the signs of someone being a shit.
That bothers me too.
Yeah, and he didn't at all, and he was giving into it. I'm like, is everyone stupid? Has everyone gone mad?
I keep thinking that because okay, so let's say this show is real and he's actually looking for a wife. You'd be like, and you have so little time with everyone, and yet it seems this one who you might be very attracted to, but she keeps coming up and like whining about things and saying everything's unfair and that that everyone's against her. That would be like, you'd be like, okay, well, she's gone. Like,
yeah, red flag. Well,
because you're not even having a connection at that point. Like, if you're actually looking for a connection with someone, then, like, honestly, someone like Becca is someone you'd be more, I don't know the word, but you'd gravitate more towards a Becca because it's easy. Every relationship, you gravitate towards whatever's easiest and most fun and the most sensual and but someone that is already crying and is already complaining about the people around them shows you that they have, if enough people are shitting on one person and they're not doing that to every other person in the house, then they are the common denominator and they are the problem. And the fact that no one ever realizes that till too late has to be producers. I know. But this isn't with this. I think it is.
I really do. I think last night we were lightly switching between during commercials. We were just taking a peek over at the old Raw 25 celebrations. If you're a fan of the WWE,
we didn't miss any of the Bachelor.
We didn't miss any because luckily my parents' TV has this thing where you can see what's going on the other channel. But much like the pro wrestling, like where it's we all know that that's scripted and fake now. The show isn't scripted, but there's a lot of leaning, and we all know that too, and we're all very well aware of this. And I think that's not a coincidence. What you're talking about right there, like that's not a coincidence. Like every Crystal Rose has been a producer Rose, and I think he's not into her at all.
My only caveat to that, it might just be that she looks like his mom, and that's why he's into her.
I think he was initially into her. I think he was initially attracted to her and stuff. But I do think she's a bit much for him, and he's okay with it because she's still like a good looking woman, Right. So he'll make out with her, whatever. He's like that. But it's also like kind of funny to think that the two like front running women right now, which you could argue was Crystal, one of them perhaps is Crystal, and the other is Becca M, are the two most wrong for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they're the worst options for him, definitely.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's very interesting.
Because a very telling sign at the end of this date was that Tia got the rose.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's why I don't think he's into
happened.
Crystal. That's why I'm like, Crystal actually is their producer, pure producer stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously Kendall should have got it. How did Tia? Did Tia say that? I don't remember what she said. Was it just a simple "I'm into you, I'm having trouble" kind of thing? Because she cried a little, didn't she? She was like, "I'm falling for you." I think that was it. That was it, right?
She talked about.
Who?
There was something about Crystal in there. Where she
No,
talked
Tia does that the next episode. She didn't tell him she was falling for him this
No,
episode.
she didn't say that, but she did indicate that like it was getting real for her and all
And
this
that
type
it was
of thing.
scary.
Yeah.
She said, I'm comfortable with you, and that's scary
Yeah.
because I don't know who else you're having those feelings for.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what she
There you
said.
go.
Right. Okay. So Tia got the rose. Lost, and a bit of it was was Ari got it on pretty good with Lauren B, which came out of nowhere. That was kind of interesting. Kendall talked about her stuffed duck, and the next day, Crystal said, "It was hard not to intimidate the other women because I come across as flawless."
That was like what?
That's
This is a
like,
real person we're talking about here. A real person said that. Like,
and notice how as Crystal's insanity grows, you start to like Chelsea a lot. I'm loving Chelsea.
Yeah. Well, especially the little tag thing at the end. I thought we got to talk
so
about
funny.
that.
I'm very pro glam.
Yeah, pro glam. Yeah.
So if you haven't watched the end of the episode,
I
watch
loved
all
it.
the way to the end of that episode. Yeah, I think we're seeing someone with possibly some mental illness. Like not like on the not on the high scale, but on the low scale. Like there's something going on there. Like the way she's talking is.
Yeah.
And then the way she acts next time. And that happens. There's bound to be people that have different issues. I'm not saying in like a mean way. I'm saying in like a real way.
It's like what's it called? Narcissism.
Yeah,
She's a
like there's
narcissist.
something going on there. And actually, when I saw that, when I saw what happens the next season, I feel that's when it feels weird for me. It's when it starts to feel like, oh wait, I don't think she's like an actual villain. I think she's got
Who?
issues.
Crystal? Yeah. Oh no. Listen. This is it's classic narcissist. It's like such crazy insecurity and deep seated problems from your family. Obviously, her brother is homeless and all this type of stuff. Right.
Like stuff she's not. Maybe like I'm not. Again, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh no, we know what you mean. I think the pinnacle of narcissism is being someone who tapes their workouts and puts them online. Like, that to me is like, I know that's a big thing these days. And hey, if you make a living doing it, more power to you. But that's like the craziest thing to me. I mean, I'm not a gym person either, so maybe that's why. But
yeah, and then that stuff I agree too. I guess I'm just saying like we're seeing someone kind of melt down.
Yeah.
And to see her melt down in this way is like, if you had anyone in your real life act this way, you'd be like, oh my God, are they okay?
Yeah. We gotta talk to them.
We gotta talk to them. Like they're saying some weird stuff right now. And she's honestly is in a bigger way than I've seen in a long time on this show. Like, it's like not just that she's mean or not just that she's saying rude things. Like Olivia, she just was like kind of rude to everybody and was like a cool bully kind of thing. But her, I'm like, oh no. And then the next episode seems intense.
Yeah. Well, before we get to the next episode, we got to talk about the long-awaited one-on-one date with Becca M. Possibly this season's front runner. Huge age gap that had yet to be addressed.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the internet, you wouldn't even known she was 22 because they hadn't showed that in their little lower third graphic thing yet, which they added when she revealed it, which was kind of dumb. But finally, Ari took Becca out on a romantic horseback riding date and then outdoor hot tubbing thing, and then they probably had dinner. I don't really remember, but everything was going fine until the age thing came up. I mean, is the other stuff even worth talking about?
No.
That they had a really romantic
They went in a little hot tub.
They had a
Real
great time.
little hot
He's very attracted to her, obviously. Same
Yeah.
physically, because he likes them young. Yeah. You know, he for sure does.
Well, and that's the thing. He's like, I knew she was young, but I didn't know this young. The one thing I will say is his reaction did surprise me. I thought he would be way cooler about it and way more into it than he was.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I want to chalk it up to him acting, basically, because he felt like it feels like maybe he should have reacted that way. Like, whoa. But I'm with you. I think it was genuine. I think it was a real reaction.
And I loved her answers. I loved the stuff she said. She is wise beyond her years.
Yeah,
I agree
for
with that.
sure.
And
I haven't had someone had such a lucid reaction to something that has happened on this show than her, when she's like, I can't give you that guarantee because like love doesn't give you that. Like I can't.
That was crazy.
I was like, whoa, what a revelation. It's like every bachelor should say that to every person who wants that from them. Because she didn't even say, oh, sorry, Glenn.
No, I just don't want to, I mean, I'll ask you guys this too, but I would not ever rule out like he's 36, she's 22. No way. Like, hey, if they're connected, they're connected. If they both believe it, why not? I don't want to, like, I don't think there's no, if she was illegal, if she was not of age, obviously. But hey, I mean, stranger things have happened, right?
Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah, just without knowing the people, with zero context, you'd be like, well, anything's possible, man. Like, of course. But when you know the people involved, so we know a little bit about Ari, we know the stories about him, we know this, we know people said about him and all this kind of stuff, and it paints a bit of a picture. So there's a bit more of a like, he says he's ready to settle down, and the girl herself, or woman, well, maybe she's a girl.
She's a woman.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. She's like, well, I might not, I don't know about that, basically. She's being straight up and honest with him.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if that was all you, like, if that's really what you wanted, you'd have some pause there, and he did. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know where this is going to go.
Just what I was thinking of is that 4 years ago, she was in high school.
Yeah,
while he was on The Bachelor, she was in high school. So if you look at it that way, it doesn't mean that she's not ready for whatever. But I just know me as a 22-year-old, would I have wanted to marry a 36-year-old man? Certainly not.
Hell no.
Even if I found them very attractive and thought I loved them, it wouldn't have worked out for me at that time.
And let's be honest, she doesn't seem like she does seem wise beyond her years, and I think she's definitely capable of making decisions like this. It's not like I think she's some wild child who's, just 22 years old or whatever. But I don't think she seems like she's in the place in her life where she's like, I've got to settle down and marry this 36-year-old man and move to Scottsdale, Arizona.
Maybe marry a hot young man.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why her point about people in her family getting married young didn't really hold water, because like, well, how old were their partners and how long have they been together?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
This is a bit of a whole different animal.
It was but then their conversation, I was like, she's awesome. Yeah. And I hope she's the next Bachelorette.
The quote, I think, Sarah, that you were talking about, I got it here. She said, stop looking for me to give you that assurance that you're not going to get, because you don't get that in love. And trust me, I want it too.
Yeah.
Pretty big stuff.
And that's big stuff. And that is The Bachelor. Like, is take out love and say, because you don't get that on The Bachelor. You don't get that on The Bachelor.
You don't get fries on The Bachelor.
You don't get that with love. You don't get that on The Bachelor. You just don't. And she especially doesn't get it from him. So yeah, she's right. Why should she be giving that to him if he can never give it to her until the end of the show? Because he can't. Yeah. Although he does tell 2 women he loves them.
I said Alex Van Halen earlier in this show, and I guarantee you Becca M does not know who that is. So
that's interesting.
There you
the
go.
Alex Van Halen test.
You gotta test.
Who's Alex Van Halen?
Oh no!
You guys are married.
My own wife fails the Alex Van Halen test.
Is that Van Halen?
It is a Van Halen.
It's a Van Halen.
Yeah.
Who's Alex Van Halen?
It's Eddie Van Halen's brother.
Drummer for Van Halen.
Yeah, he's the drummer.
Sorry, I don't know who that is.
He's the drummer in Van Halen.
Give me a Backstreet Boy, and I got ya.
That's true. You do. Yeah.
Kevin and Brian are cousins.
I don't think.
Hey, here's a question.
I don't think Becca could do Backstreet Boys either.
No, man.
Here's a question that came up at my old job that I'll ask you guys while we're on the subject of BSB. Who do you think is the de facto leader of Backstreet Boys?
Oh, it's a great
facto
question.
Leader. Okay.
This is a real question.
And
And Sarah is the most qualified to answer this for sure.
Okay, I think my answer, I don't remember what I said, but I'm pretty sure I said Kevin.
No.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin left.
Kevin?
Kevin left.
Yep.
It's not Kevin.
Kevin bailed on the group and then came back. No way, it's him.
We're talking about Heyday here.
Listen, man.
I think
okay,
it's
you're talking about
Howie.
Heyday. You're still
I'm
not.
gonna say Howie.
Wow.
Howie.
Okay.
You're talking about leader. Okay, are we talking about like frontman,
Massive.
or are we talking about leader? Because
I think
frontman.
all encompassing.
Well, then it's Brian.
Frontman's easy because I have a frontman that's it's Nick.
Nick is not the frontman.
Here, listen. The leader is depending on the. I don't know for sure. But I think it is depending on time, like era. Like if we're talking Heyday or we're talking now. I think it's a bit
Okay, then
different.
let me
Okay,
tell
hang
you.
on. I just want to
You're
finish
not
what I'm
even- I
saying.
wanna answer
I just want to finish what I'm
first.
saying. I think that in Heyday, leader, it's definitely between like Brian and like maybe Howie. That's what I think. That's
Heyday,
me.
Howie, no.
And then now I think you're looking at Nick or like Howie.
No, Nick is never.
Or not
loved
Howie. Sorry, I mean AJ. I didn't mean
AJ,
Howie.
alcoholic.
I mean AJ instead of Howie.
AJ, no. AJ's along for the ride. He's lucky he's still there.
Oh my God, AJ is outspoken more so than many of the others.
Yeah, but
Yeah, which is why he
I
can't be a
think
leader.
if we're talking overall leader, frontman, all encompassing, spanning the years, taking in everything,
okay, let's take that as the question.
then it
I've
is
got my
Brian
answer. Okay.
Luttrell.
Yeah, that's what I was going
It
to
is
say.
Brian Luttrell.
Yeah.
Because he was by far the best singer when they were younger. He has lost his vocals a good amount, but I'd say he's still he is the one that everyone will admit that they like. Because when we were kids, like maybe you liked Nick, but you didn't want to admit it because he was such a loser. But everyone loved Brian. Brian was the number one liked. I think everyone can like Brian.
Yeah.
If you liked
think it was
AJ,
between Brian and Nick.
embarrassing when we were kids. If you liked Howie, embarrassing. If you liked Kevin, embarrassing. It was always I love Brian and Nick and Kevin's a great singer. That's what you would always say.
Isn't it crazy? Becca's so young, she might not even pass the Backstreet Boys.
No, exactly. That's
She
what
knows.
I'm saying.
Well, I
think
think
could.
she would because they're still around.
Would she know
NSYNC.
who Brian Luttrell is? If you
Yes.
said, who is Brian Luttrell?
No,
I don't know if
I'm
she
gonna
would.
say no. I'm gonna say no. No
I'm
way.
gonna
I think
say
she'd
yes.
know Nick Carter. I think that would be fine. She passed the Nick Carter test. I don't think she's passing the
Well,
Brian
and here's
Luttrell
the other thing about Nick Carter is that he's got a lot of allegations against him right now, and his family's gone through so much dirt that he's just not the front man. He's like the younger kid that is a rascal that everybody thinks is
I think
great.
in recent years he's more the leader than Brian.
I don't think so.
In recent years, he's taken the lead vocally as well as like
He hasn't
being
taken
the
the
most.
lead vocally.
Yes, he has. Are you kidding?
They all
Brian
have.
Brian doesn't sing like he can anymore.
Did
so
you watch
Nick,
the documentary?
Listen,
They're all
I
filling
know
in
is
the
that when I
gaps.
see them performing these days, Nick is the guy taking on
When
the
do you
big,
see them
the big vocal
performing?
performances.
You've never watched them
What
perform.
are you talking about? Yes, I
It's a
have.
great question. It's a great question, and if you need to weigh in, hit us up on Twitter.
I'm
the
gonna,
leader?
I,
Okay, so who-
I'd
so
say
who-
We can debate
I
this
want
Are we all
all
just saying
encompassing.
Brian?
I
would've
want
said-
We're all
all
saying
encompassing lead. Who like if you watch old interviews, Brian talked the most. Like it is,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, I watched the Much Music Intimate and Interactive about 100 times,
Yeah.
and I know, like, I remember their answers.
Yeah.
I remember Howie saying, they're like, what's your heritage? And Howie's like, I'm a mutt. And then Nick went, I'm a mutt too. And we all were like, shut up, Nick, you suck. Like, we hated Nick.
I think we're all right. I think it's Brian, but I think you can make an argument for. I would think you could make an argument for Nick. And I think you can make an argument for AJ.
I
No.
still think you can make a Kevin argument.
I'm saying Howie. I think Howie
Howie?
organizes this stuff.
No
I think
way,
Howie
Howie.
organizes a lot of stuff.
Wow, this is
Howie
insane.
was a
I want to hear
scared little
from.
boy hiding in the shrubs.
I want to hear
No,
from Bachelor
but-
Nation.
Came on.
I want to hear from
Look
from
at
the
them all.
listeners.
Look at how they all look. Howie has aged by far the best.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But
Oh,
that
I
doesn't
won't
make you a
argue with
leader.
that.
And then let's just throw New Kids in the Block. New Kids on the Block. New Kids in the Block.
Let's finish this episode talking about The Bachelor, and then we can come back.
No,
to
I
this.
want this answer first. We're on
Who's
this
the leader
roll.
of New Kids?
Who's
Donnie.
the leader?
Donnie.
It's Donnie. Come on. The other ones aren't hard. Who's the leader of NSYNC?
Justin.
Justin Timberlake, obviously.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Backstreet Boys, it's a
Backstreet
puzzle.
Yeah, it's a bit
They've
more of a
stayed
puzzle.
around so long and they've all gotten so, I don't know, bloated and stuff that it's hard to tell who's who anymore and who's the leader.
True.
I think in the early days of NSYNC, you could have made an
Joey.
argument for JC.
I don't think
maybe.
so.
I think you could have, but Justin Timberlake obviously just took over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had everything. He had it all.
Yeah.
Front man,
Personality,
best-looking,
voice,
personality, could
hair.
The only one still doing it.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this rose ceremony right quick and then get back to the boy band leaders. So Chris Harrison surprised everybody and said that there wouldn't be a cocktail party. And if you were paying attention to the time on your TV, you would have figured that out already.
Yeah.
Thank God there was even a rose ceremony, though. I was scared for a minute they might do, when Crystal took him aside during the rose ceremony or before it, I was like, oh shit, is this going to be a stupid cliffhanger? Sure enough, they gave out the roses. We said goodbye to, who did we say goodbye to? Caroline and...
Brittany.
Oh, Brittany. And Mikkel had to leave.
That's right,
to go to her
Mikkel.
grandpa's funeral,
I
but
felt bad.
if you looked in the preview, she's there, so she's coming back.
Somebody
really?
said she doesn't.
Reality
Oh, really?
Steve said she doesn't come back.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, Liv thought she spotted Mikkel in the thing,
It
but
might have been like an
As much
old.
as Reality
Or-
Steve is a
probably Lauren
turd,
B.
I bet you he's right.
It might have been an old clip or something like from an. They
Yeah.
just like put in
Yeah,
the preview to make
and-
it look like she comes back.
I think if she did come back, they would have eliminated 3 at the roast ceremony because they did with Mikkel and the other 2. That's
Yes.
3, which is the going rate at this point in the show. So then the rest of the ladies are moving on to old Fort Lottie next week. They're going to Florida, which is the last place I'd ever want to go on The Bachelor. But yeah, I don't know.
I gotta say, I'm a little shocked Caroline went.
Me too.
Me too.
And I think we were
She's
talking
amazing.
about her a lot in the first episode. I guess she just didn't make that impact. You know what? She seemed quite mature to me.
Yeah.
And I
off.
believe that is something Ari does not really
Yeah.
value.
And I think because she's more mature, she's like, I'm not opening up to this guy until I
Yeah.
feel it's super appropriate to do so. And I
Yeah.
think, though, since so many other people had classic, if you don't open up in time, you're out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm glad she got her swan song episode because she got a lot of screen time. She had some good stuff with Crystal and Tia. And someone posted on Reddit today, there's so many scenes of her wearing bare feet as if she couldn't wait to take off her heels at the end of every segment, which I know that a lot of women can relate to. And it just means she's, an easygoing gal.
I would have been mad about this rose ceremony, though, if I'd wasted a good dress.
Oh, yeah.
You bring all these dresses, and then they're like, you're wearing it for 10 minutes.
She also seemed a bit like Tia's sidekick in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
I was hoping
yeah.
she'd stick around because I thought she would become the mouthpiece. There's always one person
Yeah.
who kind of tells it like it is and is sort of the representative of the team. But that's not going to happen. So I don't know who it's going to be now. Maybe Tia. She'll maintain.
I think we'll see
Tia.
Caroline
We'll see.
again. I think
Think
she'll.
so?
I think
I
she'll
hope
be another
so. She
thing.
seemed cool.
That'd be
I'd like
super
to see her
cool.
back for sure.
Yeah, did we all have her? No, me and Andy
I
had.
did.
I had her as a true dark horse, and Andy had her in the 3 spot.
Guess she was more of a dark horse than I thought.
Much like Peter was for me.
Peter.
Peter, the unanimous top pick.
Still disagree with both of you.
Although our new rule for next season, I can't
Yeah.
wait till we do it. It's really
What's the
it's really
new
going to
rule?
prevent these arguments.
What?
We do it. We all pick a top 3, and then
And
the
then-
rule is
yeah.
your dark horse can't be a person in anyone else's top 3. So then it's a true.
When
dark
did you come up with this
you were
rule?
here and
Last
you
week.
agreed
You were
with
here.
it last week. You were like, oh yeah,
I have
that's
some gossip,
good.
guys.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah,
Sarah.
let's bring it to the corner.
Sarah's gossip
Gossip
corner.
corner.
La-da-da-da. Hey everybody, it's Sarah Hillier here at my gossip corner. In my corner today, I've got some cool stuff going on. I'm trying to be a YouTuber. Anyway, okay, this is a spoiler, but it's all over the news. So beep, 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 this is a spoiler. Beep, beep, beep. And when you hear those beeps again, you know the spoiler has
Spoiler beep.
finished. So spoiler, beep. Beep, 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 spoiler. Dean
Wait,
and...
you just did beep beep beep, and then you did it again. So now people are going to think that it's
Okay,
over.
okay. So now this is the new start for the spoiler beep. It's not a big spoiler, but it's just a bit of a romance that happened out of Winter Games. So beep, 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 beginning of spoiler. Beep, 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 beginning of spoiler. Dean and Leslie Ann Murphy are officially dating, and they are exclusive.
Who's Leslie Ann Murphy?
She was in Sean Lowe's season, and she was
She
the
the one we
lawyer.
really liked?
We loved
Okay.
her.
Oh, we
her
loved
out.
her, yeah.
And she just got a double mastectomy because she found out she had the gene where it's very easy for you to get breast cancer, the breast cancer gene. So she had this big, amazing story that was all over like People magazine and like her stuff. So she's really been inspiring a lot of people. And then she was on the Winter Games, And now her and Dean are in an exclusive. So Deanie Babies, exclusive relationship. Don't really think he'll be the next Bachelor, which I thought he might be.
Attaboy Diener.
Yeah,
Attaboy
so
Leslie.
that is the spoiler, and interesting.
Huh.
But if we
Nice.
want to talk about it,
How are we gonna gotta tell him? You gotta do the beeps.
I'm not going to finish the beeps unless you want to still talk about it, but I guess that's all we want to say about that. Okay, that's it for that spoiler. Beep, beep, beep. Spoiler done. Beep, beep, beep. That spoiler's over.
Nice.
And if you want to go back and listen to that spoiler, it's not a huge one. It's because I don't think it's about relationships.
It's not
in the
about
Winter
it. No,
Games,
I don't think so.
Because it all came out, but
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe not. But that is a thing.
That's cool.
But yeah.
I saw. Is that what Reality Steve's thing was today? Because I see on Reddit there's on the number one post right now is spoiler Reality Steve's details on what's going on.
No, that must be something different because that was a couple days ago and
It
wasn't.
was yesterday.
I thought it was like
Submitted
2 days ago.
8 hours ago.
No, it's probably that. I saw it on Perez Hilton. I'm so sweaty, guys. Andy and I are both wearing Roots sweaters, the same one. It's kind of embarrassing that we have the same
That's
sweater.
a little embarrassing. Yeah.
So, guys, something else happened last week. We guessed celebrities' ages, and people really liked it. How old do we think Brian Littrell is?
Okay.
Ooh.
I think he's 45.
45.
40.
Wow.
Let's say 40. I think he's 40. 45.
Yeah,
I think he's 45.
It's another session of guessing celebrities' ages.
No,
I'm gonna
he's
go-
40. Kevin's 45. That's what I think.
Okay, I'll choose the under on that. I think Littrell's 43.
I'm saying 40. I think Brian's 40,
Okay,
and
I'll
that
still say
Kevin's
43
45.
then.
Okay?
Okay.
What do you think?
I saw how old he is already, so I know.
Okay.
So I won't guess. I won't pretend that I just know.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are both pretty close, but Glenn is going to take it here because Brian Littrell is 42.
Whoa.
42
My
years
dream man,
of
who I used to
age.
dream about and have a sticker
Okay.
book of him.
I've got a challenge for you guys.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
picked this out of my hat.
Okay.
How old is Married with Children / Modern Families Ed O'Neill?
Ooh, that is a
65.
good question. I think he's... Oh, wow. Ed O'Neill. I'm going to say
70. I think he's 70.
Okay, well, that's what I was about to say. So I'll go a little bit older and go 72.
We got a tie game unless we're playing by Price is Right rules.
Oh,
The correct answer is 71.
I think over
I
loses and under wins then. Yeah.
I won that one. That was the closest.
Nice.
But I still didn't win. I didn't guess it perfectly.
We were both off by 1 year. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay, I'll have one. The guy who plays Kramer, what's his name?
Michael Richards.
Michael Richards. How old do we think Michael Richards is?
I thought we were going to make this the boy band edition because we talked a lot about boy bands.
You went
But I
to
guess we can
Modern
lean
Family,
towards...
These are,
and I
some of the
went to
leading.
Simon.
These are some of the leading boys in TV history. I think.
I think Michael Richards is like 60.
I'm gonna say 68.
I'm gonna
Ooh.
say 65.
Whoa,
Whoa,
68.
Glenn.
Oh, did I get it?
Yeah, bang on. Wow,
See, I got it.
why did I think he was younger than that?
I got another one for you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
How old is the Encino man himself, Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser.
Well, Brendan Fraser. Okay. I'm going to say
45.
I'm going to say he's 50 years old.
Ooh, 49.
Whoa.
Sarah takes it again with the under.
Wait, no, that's only if it's tied you go to the
Oh,
he goes
okay.
to the under.
So Andy wins.
No, not in Price is Right rules.
We're not doing prices right. It's just whoever's closest. That's why Glenn won with Brian Littrell. He was guessed 43.
Oh, okay.
but
Then I have
if
one.
it's if it's equidistant, you can give it to
I
the
have
under
one.
that then.
Pamela Anderson.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't have it, so I can guess too. I'm gonna say 45. I think everyone's 45.
Pam Anderson is. I'm gonna say Pam
I think
Anderson is. Yeah, you go, Glenn.
I'll say 56.
I'm gonna say 53. Pam. I just typed in Pam. Will they know? Will they know? What I'm
I bet if
talking
you
about?
type in Pam Pam, she comes up. Whoa.
50. She's 50 years old. She's 50. Remember that classic old sketch? Okay, let's bring it back to the realm of boy bands to close it out here. And
Justin Timberlake.
Okay, Sarah's
Okay.
gonna say Justin Timberlake.
Sorry,
Harris, you
Andy.
stole my thing. That's fine.
I love you.
I think Justin Timberlake is.
I'm going to say a straight 40.
42. I'm at a 42 here.
Oh,
That's what came into my head.
I think Justin Timberlake is 39.
No way.
No way.
There's no way he's only 4 years older than you, Andy.
I mean, I said 40, so that's not too far off.
He's 36. He's our age, Glenn. So suck it.
Excuse? No, he's a year older than you, but.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Whoa.
JT, wow, he's done a lot with his life compared to me.
He's a year older than
He's
us.
turning 37 in about
And I'm turning
a week.
36 in February. So.
Yeah. Wow, guys.
Wow.
So who did you want to do for the boy band? Who do you want to just finish?
No one.
Just do it, little guy.
No. I actually was going to pick Justin Timberlake, so it works out great.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'll do the final one.
Okay.
You do the
How
final one.
old is Nick Lachey?
40.
Nick Lachey is 30. I'm going to say Nick Lachey is 38.
So you say 38. Sarah, what did you say?
40.
He's 44. Sarah takes the final round.
I really didn't think he was that old.
And you know what? I was going for 45. I'm like, I gotta stop
He's 8
saying
years
45.
older than Justin Timberlake? Wow.
Guys, give us your people that you want us to guess the ages of. We're really looking for. Listen, did we do any real bits? No. We were just waiting to guess celebrities' ages at the end of the episode. I hope you played along. I hope you were wondering. We don't even know who won. I think you
did pretty good. You got
Glenn
2.
did good too.
Did Glenn get 2 and you got 2?
I don't even know how many we did.
I got.
Hey,
did I get
it's
2?
all in good fun. There are no winners in the celebrity.
I
got
want a
one,
chocolate bar.
Sarah won a chocolate bar. So Sarah wins this round, let's say.
Well, we're going to say who wins. I mean, I think I won.
I think I won.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to tie break this next week on
apparently,
guessing ages.
I think everyone's 45.
You think everyone's 45, and that's apparently a safe number to guess because you did win. Or at least you came close to winning.
Oh, I have to tell everybody something. It's a secret. If you're following my Instagram stories, I was looking at old high school pictures of Glenn and Andy in Andy's yearbook. Yeah. And guess what Andy did on his graduation?
I don't like this very late shaming on this that's going on here.
What did you do, Andy? Because you know what? It reminds me of a Bachelor move. Thinks he can kiss whoever he wants.
Did I kiss my friend's date at the end of the night? Yes, I did.
He did.
But it's not like my friend was dating her. It was his date, yes.
Do you think he had a crush on her?
He definitely did.
Oh,
I
yeah,
definitely know he
definitely
did.
did.
Yeah, he
Oh,
liked her.
Andy,
Yeah.
I didn't even
but
know
I liked
that
her
part.
too.
I didn't know that part. Glenn, what was your grad like? Did you kiss anybody?
Oh, mine was really bad. Yeah. No,
Well, I mean, it was the same grad. We had the same grad.
No, but like, did you have an experience with a lady?
Yeah. Well, me and my friend John both were kind of heartbroken during it, so we had an awful time.
Yeah, I went with an ex. Did you guys go with
I went
exes?
with my ex too. Yeah, Glenn and I both went with
I
our
went with
exes,
an
yeah.
ex, and
Well, all 3 of us did. Wow, that's crazy.
And I sat at a table with my friends, and I was in what they called a double cohort here in Ontario, where they decided to stop doing 5 years.
2 years graduating at the same time.
2 years graduating at the same time because they decided to make it a 4-year program. It used to be a 5-year high school program here in Ontario. So I was dating a guy that was older than me. I sat with my table of friends, but then I spent the rest of the night with my ex because I still liked him, and now I think he's vile. And I wish I had just hung out with my friends, and it wasn't nice, and it wasn't fun, and I made the wrong decision. I regret it to this day.
Big time regrets here at the end of the
Yeah.
episode.
I didn't even have a bed. I had to sleep on the floor.
I don't regret it. I'm the kissing bandit.
Ew, don't make yourself Ari.
Just kidding, guys. I'm not the kissing bandit. That's Ari, and he sucks.
Does Neil Kearns know that you did this?
I think everyone knows at this point.
Well, everyone does.
No, everyone in the world does. That's it for this week. We gotta go now.
No more secrets?
No more secrets, but maybe
Ask
some
us
more
what
next
secrets
week.
we want.
Yeah.
What secrets do you want from us? What big life event should we talk about?
Why not?
Sure. Okay, well, we'll see you guys next week. Back with another episode, and maybe we'll have a special guest. Who knows?
Yeah, Maggie, do you want to do it?
Ooh. Okay. Okay, that's it.
Bye.
Bye.
If you want to contact us, you can reach out to us on social media. We're at The Bachelor Pod on Twitter, and individually, we're at Andy Holbone,
At Glenn McCauley.
At Olivia McCauley.
At the Sarah Hillier, that's @ TheSarahHillier.
If you want to support the show directly, you can go to patreon.com/thebachelorpod and donate there. Otherwise, we're thebachelorpod@gmail.com for an email, and thebachelorpod.ca, that's our website.